Let's start about in your introduction, right? We'll start from
Okay, so namaste, myself Gauri Shankar and the founder of Indian Life Centers. But the journey starts from a village from Cuttack, Odisha, and I born there, brought up, and my schooling, my whole education start there only. So after my graduation, I joined my a diagnostic center where I worked for 10 years. Uh, Being into this healthcare industry was definitely an inspiration for my doctor, who is like no uncle, who is a doctor. And but my father is a farmer, and we are a middle class family. And the whole idea was to do a job that time. We can call it a family pressure. That's a precisely it was there. So during my diagnostic center, I think the entrepreneur journey, I can say, yeah, the seed was there. Why? Because I saw many people are coming for this health checkups, regular health checkups. So the whole idea was to get good health. But what was disturbing for me was looking at all the machines in my center, diagnostic center, whether it is blood test, X-ray, MRI, it was only helping people, like not looking at their disease when it is already appears. So there was no really preventive was there, but people are not aware of that. So that's the area was very disturbing being a part of this industry. And from there, I was really looking at something prevention or early detection and all that. But sometimes need and greed, all that happens. So in this 10 year of journey, and suddenly with one of my friend, he suggested me, you should on this trending is investment and share market and all that. So that I started my first company, venture into that in 2010. I did well. I earned money. Another money was like a wow factor, but this really failed, and it really was painful. I lost all money, and I think that was the time where yearly set me off, because it took 4 years to really come out from that zone, and it humbled me, it saved me, and I started doing spirituality like meditation and all that. So in the 4 year journey, what I learned that shortcut was not the door to really look at, and it was not of my cup of tea. I learned everything. My passion was health. I look at something pain there. I should really start with something into health. And in 2000, I think 16, I again started a venture where I called my friend who he was from Malaysia. So because no Malaysia was into many trending kind of supplements, nutri business that time. So he suggested me let's start a venture, and without looking back, because it was a 4 year backlog was there. So I started that, and but again we failed. Why? Because the product was wow factor. It was a cancer prevention. Then we have many other nutraceuticals, antioxidants, and that time that antioxidant is now they are in India, but that time was because we are importing from Malaysia, and that product was not there in the FSSI list, importing tax and all that. Though we're doing good business, but last day there was no profit, and we were really hunting for this, changing to go to the airport, clearing that customs and all that every time. So them, it is not selling drug and all that. So that again we felt, I think. And though that the pain was there, do something, and I think I look at again the pain area, and the pain was again the same, that 60% of the deaths in India can be preventable. So I look at deeply into that, and then I look at 80 to 90% people knowingly, unknowingly, they are waiting to become sick, right? Because there is not such a preventive, because our hospital they need patients, or even the government has established a primary health center. In Hindi we call Prathamik Swasthya Kendra.
yeah.
Right? Even you can go there for prevention, right? Also, you need to become a patient. And if you really say somebody, a young generation like you, they want to really visit a diabetologist, because they don't want that disease, then they cannot really communicate without becoming a patient to a doctor. So that's the real tragedy. And today, diabetologists are suffering from diabetes. Cardiologists are dying in sudden cardiac arrest. So that's as I was looking at that my background from the diagnostic, I think I can do something that pale area. And there, I look at to help that people, 90%, 80% healthy people to make that healthy. And there I look at that wellness people to be well people, to stay well. And the W was the first I look at that, well people. Then how it can be possible? Because do I have a background of diagnostic center and all that? And doing the new research, I said, then today the 60% death can be preventable subject to going deeper into their body, and that's the DNA or the genetics. So W is wellness. Inside going that DNA, the company I found called Win DNA, though we pronounce it Win DNA, but it's actually W in DNA. Together. So like then in this two failure with two of my good friend, what may be the reason their intention was not bad, in the both journey. So I request my wife, no, why don't you join? No, we should start. It's really very beautiful, and she has been supported to me always. And she said, I don't have any idea about this because she comes from different background, associate professor in engineering college, and has a computer selection and all that. But I said, no, I need your support, and we are going to serve this nation. Don't look at this fixed past, because that is a huge need of this time. And there the journey started. So in 2019, we started this journey, Lubin DNA. So, but immediately after that, with this willpower, and it's a good startup. Now we initially went to many bank at that time. Everybody refused, but once तुम्हारे बैंक में पैसा आएगा, then bank पैसा देता है. So anyway, so I thought, no, once we will have money, then why we need you? But that's the journey, and actually, that's really today, the true fact. So anyway, from the bootstrap we started, and COVID was definitely a setback, and it was entire the world. So, but we chased that, and we started even in the COVID without the fear, because it was challenge for us, and because she was left her job and I was really starting again. So we started door to door, doctor to doctor, hospital to hospital, and we did well. And we get good response, and we did that. So even that COVID period, lockdown also, our turnover was around 1 crore being a startup, and that was very.
That was the first year?
It's so no, as a turnover of the company.
No, but that was the
Yeah.
first year after the launch, or?
Past year, yeah, in that lockdown first year, I think, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so and that's really help us to understand. Okay, there is a need, and so in the 2022 to like that, we look at, because the whole idea was DNA, no, giving that preventive genetic test. So from a simple saliva test, so we do that preventive genetic test, and then we do counseling and all that. So in that journey, we sometimes recommend people that you should consume this particular supplements or some nutraceutical products, because your body unable to process and all that. But at that time, people are demanding where we get that best quality, and then we look at that another pain area. So we started forming another company. It's not another company; it's another venture of that Win DNA, and it's called Best Supplements.
Okay.
The Best Supplement is a registered brand of us, and there we have our own clinically evaluated, patented ingredients. More than 30 products we have till now in our baskets. So genetics and supplements was there, and it was deep rooted with the science, but yes, with our ancestral cultural things. Because what we look at that after this genetic test, what a human being need is a person need to consume the product of their ancestor data, right? A Punjabi should start with the paratha, no problem, but a South Indian starting with a paratha with the butter can be something that now we need to look at. So there, the whole journey started, and I think today we and that time we don't have any idea about what called startups. Really, it was just a business, passion. And in that time, around 2022, and I met one of my friend. He's from a University of Odisha. He introduced to me to a professor, like not Professor Dr. Pradeep Naik. So he's the head of the biotechnology department of Sambalpur University. He then asked me, "Are you like startup company?" And so I don't know idea about that. So he said, "No, you should join as a startup. That you should know that you're doing fantastic job." So that was the first journey to really look at what startup is all about. So with his mentorship and all that, because our company is in Mumbai and we stay in Mumbai, and so that was there in my Odisha. So communications, regular reaching there was quite difficult. He then suggested me there was another startup forum called AIC, Atal Incubation Center, and he should apply that. I can remember the link was around midnight, and he said you should do it today because not today is the last date. So very passionately, I feel that pitch deck and everything, and I think AIC RFP is at the real journey who really saved us. And because we came to know about the cash flow, we came to know about all that which is needed, starting from a pitch deck, starting from like value additions and how many things which is needed to really in this competitive market. And today the journey is beautiful, and we have more than 18 registered brand with us. We have a few patent coming up. We are also going to associate with the Department of COENPT, and we are working on Indian-based some probiotics, and many things is happening there.
That's really amazing how you describe your journey, because it is true that initially people were just doing business. It was just startups are just innovative businesses, right? The term startup was very new to India. It is still very relatively new to India. People are just starting to know what the word or the term startup is. But the idea of a startup has always been there. The innovative businesses have always been there. And businesses such as yours, which started off without even having the awareness of the term startup or the ecosystem of the startup, but still started that journey because you knew there was value in what you were doing in preventive healthcare, in terms of the supplements that you were creating. Obviously, family backgrounds help to a certain extent, but it only helps you to a certain extent, right? Everything after that is all on you. We're going to have conversation over two directions where I see a lot of potential here. Is first is idea validation of preventive healthcare, right? You started in 2016, like you said, right? 2016, right?
19.
No, the launch was in 19, right? But the journey of preventive healthcare and so on started much earlier, you said.
Yeah, 2019.
2019. Okay. Uh, Preventive healthcare, I understand during COVID in 20 when it came to India, people were more health conscious. But let's say in 2019, there was a very limited culture or awareness of preventive healthcare, right? Because what was happening was, oh, I'm fit, I'm fine, I don't need it. I will go to the doctor if I fall sick rather than living a healthier lifestyle so that I can avoid going to the doctor. In an ecosystem like that, where awareness has to be created first, and then you can create a business for the community where the awareness has been created, what was your first approach of first telling people that, hey, try preventive healthcare first, or just creating awareness about the wellness part and the healthcare part in terms of preventive side of things, right? Walk me through that journey first, and then we'll take on the following ones.
So yeah, so when we started, how we took give presentation was a bit challenging, as you rightly said, like no, in India लोगों को ऐसा लगता है कि मरेगा तो बाजू वाला I will be perfectly fine. Right? So yeah, that's all. Like one, and every minute and every second, if you go to any casualty of any big hospitals, so people are coming with ambulance with some sudden cardiac arrest or like no, it's some kind of new disease. So that was definitely a wake up call. So what we started talking people, okay, don't wait to wake up, and we started giving example of all the big chains like no. Whether it is Steve Jobs, whether it is like Arun Jaitley, Sushma Swaraj, and many big people with a huge amount of money, we cannot imagine about that, and like for general people. So they died. We started giving them example about the insurance. That insurance can extend your life, cannot give you good life, and all that I think. And then we started communicating with a little middle class people because genetics is not everybody cup of tea because it's cost. Like it's not like a blood test, so it's around, and that time it was around 35,000 rupees because it's a completely a setup. Yeah, because it's a sequencing machines. Then we need to have a counseling. Then we have a team of people. They started doing because it's genetic is it's there in the birth. It's like a co, right? So what really is triggering that genetic is our food and our lifestyle and environment. So knowing it before, so we start doing awareness program, and we started meeting more doctors.
Where was this awareness programs? Like, what were the target customers initially? Like, who was these awareness programs for?
Middle age,
Middle age.
about 50 year people.
How did you organize them?
Pardon?
How did you organize them and so on?
So we started requesting doctors rather why don't you gather some of your patients, so we did the free seminar. It is a awareness kind of program, and we went on by reaching corporates, giving them invitation free seminar on preventive healthcare, and we start doing that. During COVID also we started because that time it was the trending of regular health kind of Zoom and all that, and also we did that. Many people they comes now, they started questioning okay how it can do and all that. Many parents spoke with their kids because they want to understand, and many people that are suffering, and we said no, you should do your root cause analysis because you know whether it is that whether it is a diabetes or something. So that's the way we reach, and many people, many friends, they helped us, and there were many channel DNA laws that we joined there, and networking. So that's the way we start that.
But that would limit you to Cuttack and surrounding cities, maybe like even surrounding states to a certain level, right?
No, the journey in 2000, 15, 16, I have shifted to Mumbai because, so this, when we start in Mumbai, it's in Maharashtra, correct? So we started in Mumbai, but yes, because it was a Zoom and we're conducting mini webinar and all that, so some from a different part of India, it was through courier and more normal speed post. So nothing was there, issues.
But that still limited your thing because initially you said you approached doctors to organize seminars. That works. So let's say you approached maybe 100 doctors or something like that. And out of them, maybe 20, 30 of them organize a seminar for you where they send their patients for preventive healthcare and so on. So after the awareness session was done, so how did you validate your idea that, okay, out of the 100 people who attended my seminar, maybe 20, 30 of them are saying that they actively want a preventive measure. They actively want to do the test. What was that like? Because that is a very difficult journey, right? You do a seminar for 1,000 people and only 20.
Meeting more and more doctors, we started interacting with the patients.
Yeah.
that was the like the time where we really look at that the doctors are only communicating with the patients.
Yeah.
Because healthy people, why they are healthy, they are right. Yeah, so then we started looking at that. Why don't we really create a team of people who can reach homes, like now reach college, reach corporates, and we call them Arogya Doots. And the name I knowingly give that no, it's a skilled worker we need to create, because if you go deeper into that, now everybody know that nobody want to die, but nobody want to see people who was not doing something 10 days before. He is very actively now doing money work. Who was not even looking at the vegetables. Now he's actively consuming Karela juice. Right now, so
Yeah.
that bitter is become better now.
Yeah.
So why? Because every human being is become bit serious about the day he started looking at his diagnostic report. So that piece of information about your health create fear, and that fear really help you to do something that we have never imagined. Whether it is like no. So we started creating that Arogya Doot. So Arogya Doot, so we started inviting youth that why don't you join, because this nation need you. Like, because patients only once somebody will form any kind of symptoms, they will only visit the doctors.
Yeah.
So as we are working into preventive, we need to reach to them.
Yeah.
We require for them. And that was then we started education, empowerment and engagement program.
Okay.
So we started visiting instead of hospital, more colleges and all that.
Okay.
We started giving seminars to like the last year students and all that, MBA and pharma students. The why don't you join? We will educate you, like give you some base of skilling knowledge about preventive health, what to talk to the customer, why preventive is important. We'll empower you what is because why it is needed in this time, because India is really heading for to becoming the global number one economy and all that. But at the same time, number one cancer, number one diabetes, infertility is increasing, and there are many metabolic disorder is increasing. So in this time, definitely we need doctors, but that is for the 10% people. So 90% people will need a worker who is more skilled, and from that sales you need to really create that need which is needed. And we have more than 1,000 or more workers working day and night with a badge here, like I am an Arogya Duta, I am really helping you out. So we started then collecting more and more samples. So from one sample from one family, we started calling it a family pack. So we started five of member at a time, because to do screening of entire family, so that their diet and lifestyle modification can be changed. Each one can support another person. My let's say if parents can know the strength as well as the weakness of the kids, and also other kids they also know that what's my parents also prone to, so they can also stop them consuming something or that. So in that way, so the business started jumping, and that's the Arogya Doot. We still aiming to have more than 10,000 in coming next 2 3 years. So we are reaching more colleges, and also we have developed some skilled syllabus for them.
Okay, understood. That's a very interesting model because that is very counter thesis to what most startups do, right? Many startups have given up on the door-to-door model. They don't go door-to-door, on ground, talking to people, keep them engaged. Before I ask my next question, there are a few informations I want to know. When you started the Arogya Doot method, right, the model of that, how many people did you start with? How many Arogya Doots did you start with?
I think we start with around 5 to 6 people.
5 to 6 of them. And the screening testing that you were doing at that time, I'm assuming it becomes slightly cheaper now, but at that time, what was the cost of a screening, a DNA screening at that time?
The MRP was 35,000
Per person.
per person because it's not just a test.
Yeah.
It involves many, as I said, no, because
Yeah.
counseling is that, so there is a man involved.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure the cost is
It
justified.
is around, let's say after discount, it was around in hand 25,000 something.
ठीक है, ठीक है.
Yeah.
I'm sure the cost is justified. I don't want to focus on that right now. What I want to focus on is, let's say I'm a family of 4, that's 1 lakh rupee for DNA screening for me in 2019, where someone has come to my door to talk to me, right? 1 lakh rupee in Indian terms is a very big amount. I need to keep my target audience to maybe top 1% or top 2%, 5% of the population. I don't think even the top 10% would entertain that now. So I use Arogya Doots. I go door to door. I have these conversations. I tell the people what I'm doing. Large scale awareness is missing. The reason I'm asking this and stating this is because you've created a business where, firstly, there was a complete lack in awareness in terms of preventive care. The cost of your product, individual product, is very high compared for an Indian market, at least from an Indian market perspective, right? Yet, because you are doing a door-to-door model, you are able to build a certain level of relationship with your customers that they are onboarded, and I'm sure there's a referral program where the customers refer someone else.
No, there is no customer
Nothing
care.
like that.
Yeah.
Nothing like that.
No.
Oh,
They remain customer.
yeah, or they're just independent customers.
Yeah.
Perfect. So that is even more difficult to execute.
But
How did you manage to okay, in order for this model to work, my first 5 or 6 Arogya Doot needs to be extremely good at communication, extremely good at sales in terms of catching with very high EQ to just catch the pulse of the customer, to understand what their actual needs are. How did you build that initial team of 6 people? How did you identify them?
so started with during my journey, I really did they sells very well. No, I understand what that preventive genetic test. It is 1,50,000 crores market, right? Though it is look expensive, if you can really focus the people who can really pay it off very happily, we'll need another 50 years to reach that people. So we are luckily in India, people are buying iPhone of 1,500,000, right? It lasts for 2 years. With a new upgrade version, it will definitely change, and we do that also. So what we started talking about these 6-10 people that don't try to become a salesman, just become a skilled man, and don't communicate in such a way to the client that just you create that need, they will buy. And in our business, it's not just DNA. DNA is just a beginning. So the retention is the supplements and all, and because they start consuming it. So average a consumer consume around 4,500 every month.
Okay. Fair enough. I get that. But my question is still there. How did you identify the first 6 people? Because these first 6 people are what defines your entire business afterwards.
Through this social media, campaign, and we reach to HR.
Yes.
Are you a freelancer?
Yeah.
You want to join 1,00,000 crores market? And that way, few people comes. People are from pharma. People are from this insurance background.
Yeah.
They are majorly the people who are contributing here.
But what qualities were you looking for? Because if you put that on right now, in India, unemployment's all-time high. So 1,000 people will apply for the position if you put the salary right. What skills were you looking for in them?
We are looking out more passionate people so that we can skill up them. But now there's a new, we have framework. Now we receive the applications and we allow them to do a 1-month course. If they will get certified, then only they will be recruited. Okay, bro. But yes, initially, because there was a deed and we don't know, and many people they committed, but they don't really fill that gap because communications and that reaching to the right customer is very, very important. Right customer is very important. So today now we have not only limited to preventive genetics and we are doing any tests.
Yeah.
So in cancer genetics, we are doing like parental pregnancy test for this chromosome like disorder and all that. So we also do very rare disease tests, and so from pharma genomics to preventive, so all the tests are with us. So we are reaching hospitals because they need certain tests, and we are also reaching many research organizations because they are doing some sequencing for their own research, as well as this preventive is there. So now we have started a new mission to reach all the schools, and the product we have made is called CTGT, is Child Talent Genetic Test. So because parents are the most emotionally we learn, so we have to niche to this market. If you are really looking at preventive, sometimes my father may not be allow himself अरे 25,000 रुपया तू रख दे मेरे को, अभी 70 साल हो गया अपने buying preventive studies. So that's one area. But yes, for the parents, yes, it is important, and I think doing so, I think they are the future, and I can yes, we can do that prevention.
Okay. I want to talk a bit more about general business model development, right? Because yours is a very unique business model. Door-to-door approach, high value, initial product you're in. Most of your revenues actually come from the recurring revenues from the supplements and so on, right? It's obviously the model was not built overnight. There are many models that must have failed before, right? I want to first understand how many, which were the initial models that you tried that failed. I want to talk about the failed models first, because that is very important, because students are going to be watching this. They need to understand that your first model will never be the best model. It will always require reiteration, right? So talk to me about your very first model that you tried. I'm sure it failed, or I don't know if how much of it passed and worked out. But talk to me about that. Talk to me about that failure of that business model, and what was the problem in that business model that you identified afterwards.
Yeah, so the first business model was I said in the beginning that failed. It's because I look at trending, trending that time because the money was that time. So I didn't never look at that problem. I look at my problem. I need money. And that was the trading into production. I has no idea about that.
Yeah.
I look at it though, it's completely a cosmetic, new, different world. Though I earn money, did really fantastic, but it collapsed.
Yeah.
And it took me 4 years to again come back from that zone. What I learned definitely because I did a fantastic turnover.
Yeah.
So my value was there. Now I look at, okay, if I want to come out from this, so I need to look at bigger of my own imagination.
Yeah.
And that the way I can really look at bigger that. And I think that the journey which really shaped me and make me humble and make me look at that need and greed and instant success is not that cup of tea to me. And I should not do something which I was not really mastery or my interest of things. So that's one failure that we can say. But if you look at this, that time it was failure.
Yeah.
From now I look at that was really a fantastic the way God has really set me out, right? Because past is past,
Yeah.
right? So it is not there. It is still only on memory, which I can remember. But when I remember that, I cannot feel pain, but I can happily look at that. Wow, अगर वो नहीं होता शायद मैं यहाँ पे नहीं.
सही बात है. Sir,
And so from Odisha to this Mumbai, and I think that's the journey. I need to really thank God for Syntax for that.
it's a fantastic journey, right? But I still wanna continue that question. For, let's say, for W in DNA, right? When you started W in DNA, what was the first model that you were using for selling out preventive healthcare? I'm sorry, that didn't work out. वो 35,000 रुपीज़ वाला वो टाइम पे आप बॉम्बे में सीधा जाके बोलोगे कि सर ये ले लीजिए 35,000 रुपीज़ का है, या whatever 40-50,000 रुपीज़ का है. I'm sure you played with the price also, but वो बोलता था क्यों आया मेरे पास. right?
No,
The first impression at that time would have been,
rejection was there,
yeah.
but we learned from that.
What was the rejection like?
Rejection was, see, when was giving presentation, the factor was wow.
Huh.
Even today.
Hmm.
Like no, if there will be, let's say, 100 or 200 people sitting in a conference room or in a like no meeting hall, and if me or some of my team member they are giving a presentation, we all know that's 100% wow factor will come because everybody knows that ये जरूरत है. But definitely when money comes, so then we look at okay chalta hai, then jugaad and all that. So we learned that, and then we started looking at why kisse baat karna, right? So knowing your customer, I think that's the value because see today for in layman it's a stone, white stone, but in a beautiful showroom, it's 30 lakhs rupees. So you should know that who value that stone to really buy and So preventive genetics, I think whether it is genetics or preventive compared, any that's industry, it's a big industry, and we are a dense a huge population. So I think that is the reason it's 1 lakh few thousand crores market, but you शिकार वहीं पे करना है. That's the nasty you need to do that.
No, I get it, right? And business is something that's constantly evolving, right? Because it's no longer the same. I'm sure when you started in 2019, the market in 2019 maybe not be very health conscious. The market in 2025 is extremely health conscious, and that's post COVID especially, and that is growing. I mean, it fluctuates a little bit here and there, but every now and then it grows exponentially as well, right? So businesses also have to adapt to that to a certain level, right? I'm sure you have as well. One thing that you've told me is you've defragmented your offerings, where you're offering, let's say, infertility wala segment, you're offering just the diabetes or cancer segments, and you've segmented your offerings instead of just giving them a carpet service of your DNA screening. You can just screen for one of these two parameters, one or three parameters, and so on like that. Over the years, how often, firstly, do you go back to looking at all the data that you've collected? Because without that, without understanding the data, you can't make these decisions, right? So since you've been in this for like 6-7 years now, how often do you look at that data? How do you look at that data? And then how do you make a decision कि बाबा okay मेरा data बोल रहा है कि I need to focus on 25 to 30 now because वो मेरा customer बढ़ रहा है वहाँ पर, or this or the other way, right? So how do you firstly, how often, so how frequently do you study your data? How do you study your data? And how do you make decisions based on that data? Because that is something that will drive your business, because it's a business liquid now, right? Yeah.
Okay, so looking at the data, definitely every time our strategy, our action plan change over the times, looking at the data itself. Because initially हमको लगता कि भाई सब तो करेगा क्योंकि जरूरत सबको. Then हमने देखा कि 40 and above people having a family background or papa and all that, or having some little bit of symptoms. Only those that fear factor, they are coming forward. Then we design product for the sports people. Like we don't start talking about the whole things you know. Sports people if you are going to a gym, okay, do a specific genetic test. You know your metabolic, what is your protein you need to do, what is your nutrition profile, what is your VO2 max, whether you should do upper part exercise, what are the injury risk and all that. So then, though it was there in the previous, but it was talking to a 40-year people about the gym and all that. So that particular 20 page was nothing to not do with that. So we separate that, and we started reaching to sports authority, gym and all that. So then design a new products altogether. So similarly, so like let's say what we need to talk to the diabetologist, or let's say there is some pharmacogenomics, so then we very specifically. So this is for any that we have designed. So definitely data help us. And
How do you maintain your data?
so the data is maintained today.
Yeah.
Very right question. So today, if you look at the data of the healthcare industry,
Yeah.
in India, it is though 2023 that system has come up by the government of India. So we are now developing a blockchain.
Acha.
So because every genetic data is a huge, like 2 GB to like up to that, or 100 GB data is there. So it can be stored, and yes, definitely the data privacy will be there. And when we want to use data of somebody, so the OTP like Aadhaar authentications kind of thing, so that we are designing now.
Acha.
But yes, other data till date it is there in the cloud. So
No, that's nice because the quantum of data that we generate now, especially in something like yours, let's say DNA screening, is going to be huge, right?
huge.
And I need to be able to evaluate, and because there is a microscopic picture and there's a microscopic picture कि बाबा एक इंसान के बॉडी में क्या चल रहा है और पूरे बॉम्बे में क्या चल रहा है या पूरे इंडिया में क्या चल रहा है.
India में, right,
to
right.
to evaluate it to a higher level, you have to analyze the market, the entire, sorry, not the market, the entire data set that you have collected, and then go and identify, okay, Mumbai has a national average if is X, Mumbai has 2x diabetes patient, or Delhi has 3x cancer patients, or something like that. Evaluation and analysis of that data is also very important.
Yeah. So that's really helping us.
Yeah.
And recently we have started one program
Yeah.
for the preventive healthcare for this CKD.
Acha.
No, so this kidney people. So we have identified many zones in our country. So specifically, I'm talking about one part of the Odisha. I'm not really revealing that. So with the government of Odisha Department of Health, so we are now reaching with our Arogya through that particular area, and really it can help. So 3D sequencing. So it's not about looking at all the. So we are looking at the different phenotypes of this and genetic data of that. So Ardiola is also we are looking at sickle cell mania. So again, that's the very hugely rapidly growing in some part of India. So from there we are definitely we are collecting, and we are also trying to collaborate with nearby hospitals, research unit, academics and all that, so that definitely data will come, and that will really help us to design new products, creating new strategy, and definitely our aim will be same preventive, but our action can be in a different way.
What role has these institutions played in the success of your company right now, right? Because a startup, no matter how much we think, cannot do everything by themselves. We have to, so let's say in your case, you're a health tech company or preventive health tech company, right? You have to reach out and partner with hospitals, medical colleges, government bodies, and so on. To what extent has those collaborations helped? What are the challenges when you're collaborating with these partners? Because startups like to work fast. Most of them, if it's a government organization, they work very slow, right? They have their own, let's say they have a delicate pace of working, right? What are the pros and cons, and how important is it for a startup to collaborate with these institutions, with other startups in order to success?
Yeah, it's very important because see, we look at this 2019 to till this journey. I think every time we have changed our strategy, and now we are completely 80% our share we are looking to B2B, and where we can look at the collaboration and all that. So definitely collaborations. You need to also understand when you are doing collaborations. First of all, this negotiation capacity, delivering product in time, and you need to understand that of your money, how you really can it's not about, let's say somebody can commit like with 200 samples will come. But at that same time, you need to really understand sample and money both need to be flowed. People don't know because when you will stop in that. So I think, but yes, I think the ecosystem has developed a lot. And today in 2025 and next 5 years, I think it's a market of collaborations. And government is very aggressive now and very open. Like, so we have startup Mahakumbh is happening. All these state government, they're very aggressively doing MSME program, startup program. They're completely collaboration with institutions and academia collaboration is happening. Institution like Bayrak and all, they are really helping lot of new startups. And I think the ecosystem is not that was in 2016, 18, 19. It is completely evolving. And I think the government is really doing fantastic job, though we cannot say 100% we are getting that. We are still a bootstrap. But I can confident that the new generations, that what we face the challenge, I don't think they will come with some a really good idea, not trending idea. Last time in startup forum also, our minister spoke about this trending idea and all that. I don't want to go deeper into that. So yeah, if something that problem of tomorrow can be solved, I think there are people people like us, people like you, who can really guide them, mentoring them, because nurturing them, because we know what not to work. Mentoring is not like, we cannot give that whether that idea is wrong or correct. We can really take forward that idea to nurture them. And I think India is leading the world. And I think if we can bring something back with our roots and evaluate with very scientific and technology, that's the future of India. And youth, they should come any idea, any way, whatever the stage they are. I think the ecosystem is really ready to help them out.
I completely understand with you. There are often some challenges. I mean, there are obviously a lot of benefits. So there are 80% benefit, there are also 20% challenges when working in collaboration with either the institutions, other startups, or government bodies, right? Since you have worked with so many of them, what are the key challenges? What are the most common challenges that a startup like yours or a company like yours faces when working with other organizations? May it be data, may it be just operation, may it be anything else. What are the things that you have identified are the key problems or the key challenges when working with any of the institutions right now?
So for us, definitely first is commitment. Because see, what you are really looking at there, like to say, because first of it's like kind of marriage. When you are really collaborating, so we need to understand who is the person who is dealing with you. It's not that institutions, right? No, let's maybe the institutions, a big institution, we were communicating somebody, so his commitment, their team, and all these things are very, very important factor when we are doing that. Second, for a startup, definitely the payment terms, right? I think where really the firefight starts. Sometimes it's not about this whether we are into giving samples. So there are many collaboration B2B. So sometimes these taxations, sometimes from their end they don't pay tax, GST and all that. Sometimes they don't know, sometimes they delayed, but definitely say startup that also happen. But I think we should not look at that challenge, and it will come. You need to learn.
No, I completely agree with you. There are more pros than cons when dealing with these institutions. Yes, there will be challenges sometimes. Let's say there's a delay in payment. That's the most common challenge when working with a government agency, right? And as startups, you have limited runway. You can't do much about that. But there are also, I think, government programs or something else where you can get money for the money that is due by the government or something like that. I can't think of the name of the program right now, but I know there is one. If you have an invoice from a government agency, they'll discount it for you in while the government pays you back. And it's a government initiative at the same time, so you don't even have to go away from it.
Okay, you can look at this gem.
Yeah, the GEM portal is a very good thing over there.
So that's it.
Yeah.
Many way government is coming out. Yeah. So evaluating their challenges and all that. I think the more year will pass, I think the more polished it will be. And I think it will be more easy to doing business and all that.
One thing I want to focus here, right? It's what you rightfully said. It's like a marriage and these kind of collaborations. Uh, the other institution may not take your problem as seriously as you do, because let's be real. If you have decided to take a life decision of starting a startup around a problem, it is very important for you. It is not important for that institution or anything else. They have 200 other problems that are equally important for them. Yours is just one of them, right? But students or early stage founders often get very eager on this kind of thing, where they want to, why is this not a problem for them? They don't know how to deal with it. Ki baba, why are they not responding to me? Why are they not doing this? This is such a great initiative. Yes, it may be a very good initiative. It may be a very good product or a service, but they have priorities as well, right? And since you have worked with so many of them right by now, I want to understand what advice do you have for students and other early stage founders who are facing a similar problem like this, where they're working with institutions, but institutions not responding on the same part of interest when it comes to this certain kind of problems and solutions. What advice would you give them at this stage?
See, I think for a startup, definitely they will be like a family. So they will be nurturing through mentors, there will be team and all that. Definitely, time to time they'll be get guided, and I think they're not going to jump into that. Before really collaborating with somebody, little bit of research about them, we can ask them about their previous report, transactions, everything is there in the GST portal. So little bit of research and looking at, I think definitely will guide us. But at the same time, who has did something before, they are now come out with their new team. They are also coming with new commitment. So we cannot really look at that. It's a journey. I think I need to do. I can say that no, we should be in the process and being in the journey, not judging exactly, because it cannot be really right way. And I think पानी में कूदेगा तो swimming सीखेगा and all that. It's like that. Even as a mentor, we cannot guide, and all mentor cannot be the right way, because the visionary is looking something different. Yes, the challenges can be shared. What is about the past, we have our past relations. That's the whole. We cannot tell something that we don't know. And what we don't know, that is not happened in our past. But also in that time, we can say what happened in our past, maybe they are now changed. The relationship can be better because the new manpower, new team, new kind of things. Look at this gem itself, and just within 3 years, completely step up, very I think go ahead with the journey. But yes, very little bit of research and data analysis and all that. Take mentor suggestions. Take sit with your founder and co-founder. Sometimes intuition, got help. So I think that we cannot really look at who is bad or good. I think the journey will let you learn that what you learn that.
Yeah. That's very nice what you've just said. That you have to just go with it, learn on the journey, be patient, listen to your mentors or just listen to your co-founders or your other members of the team. It's okay. Some things will take their own time. Certain things, the society is changing. Some things you have to change within your own startup as well. So I think that's really great. With this, I'd like to conclude our call for the day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gauri Shankar. You took a lot of time for us and for a lovely conversation that enlightened quite a bit of the students on this journey later ahead. Uh, I'd love to have you on board for a more specific podcast at a later date. Let me just figure those things out with my team when we can do that and what the topics of those conversations will be. Because we are looking to create a podcast for let's say ideation or scale ups, but from health tech perspective, agri tech, defense tech, all the other experts on that model there. So I think you'll be a very good addition there as well. Let me get back to you on that. I'd love to see you in person someday as well. And I'd personally like to invite you for our competition finale in November. This will be in Mumbai sometime last week of November. The dates are still not finalized. I'll let you know when they come. But please do come since it's in Mumbai and you're in Mumbai. We'll love to have you.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to come and part of this, incredible things that you're doing.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Thank you so much, sir.
love talking to you. Have a great day.
You too, sir.
Bye.